Hi, I'd like to welcome you to DeKalb Talks Tourism. This is a special show today, and I know I say that on a lot of different shows, but this one is our first video conference per se podcast. So, very excited. We're anxious to see how this goes. And we have a special guest who's actually performing soon called Demola. Demola is a violinist, and he's going to tell us about himself. So, tell us about you, where you're from, and things like that?
Yeah, my name is Demola. I was born in Nigeria. I'm Nigerian. Grew up in Nigeria. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, actually. Um, yeah, and I grew up in the suburbs. I grew up in the hood and the city and different places in Lagos. I picked up music. You know, I started playing instruments in church, but before I started ever playing the violin, I picked up music from my parents because I had music loving parents, deep music loving parents. They listen to every genre. So dad was a lover of jazz and hip hop and Afrobeat and all of that, and my mom was a lover of pop music, reggae,
Mm-hmm.
R&B, rock and roll. So it was a combination of both. Dad was listening to classical, mom was listening to classical music, mom was listening to country music because mom was heavy on country music. So I picked up all of that from them growing up. I just saw music holistically as one sound, and that's where I become. When I started becoming a violinist, when I started becoming an artist, I just would play any genre of music, just the same way I heard it growing up. That's how it started for me.
So, what age did you start playing the violin?
I started playing the violin 17 years ago, so I was about 14, 15.
Oh, okay. So you were what? You were middle school, high school, middle school, I guess.
Actually, Nigeria, we kind of finished early. I had very fast education, so I just finished high school,
Oh, okay.
14 plus. So I didn't have anything to do at that point in time, so I was going to church and just waiting on to get into college. Because I got into college at 15 plus, yes, a year after I finished.
Wow, you were young in college. Well, for over here at least.
Yeah, compared to here, it's different. A few of us there back home, like typically in Nigeria, you finish high school at 16,
Interesting.
15 plus, 16 plus in Nigeria typically. When I moved over, I felt like it was very much different. I was like, oh, okay. You get into college, you find people who are 15 years old in college, 15 years old and 16 years old in college, 17 years old in college.
So, what made you, or what excited you to move from Nigeria to the United States?
I didn't want to come here, to be honest. I wanted to go to London.
Ah,
Yeah, I wanted to go pursue my music in London. I wanted to do my grad school in London. I wanted to do my music in London. So I was going to do my master's and PhD, and then for pursue my music career. And my master's and PhD was actually going to be in molecular biology, genetics, and of course public health at some point. But yeah, I was touring. I've always been touring with different artists. Touring as a string quartet, touring as a band, touring for playing violins, leads violin, part of a string ensemble for different artists. So I was touring in America. I was invited for a festival, performed, I toured, and my friends, who were also senior players before I started playing, they had moved, you know, over the years to America, and they were like, "Bro, you're here for 2 years. How come why do you want to go to London? Just move here and try it for 1 year. If you do not like it, or 6 months, you decide to leave America." So I was like, "Okay, I'll give it a shot." You know, and I decided to stay back. After numerous tries, I was like, "Okay, I'll stay back for a little bit. Just see how it works." So I stayed back for a little bit here in America for like maybe a month, two, and I just liked it in Houston. And since then, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a shot. I'm gonna go back home to Nigeria. I'm gonna decide to, instead of moving to London, I'm just gonna try to decide to move to America for 6 months and see how I like it. And
hmm
if I don't like it, then I go back to my original plan to move to. But I liked it. And since then, I've been here.
so you live in Houston?
I live in Houston. I've been in Houston for like close to 10 years now.
See, I've only been in Houston to get to Galveston Island, but I'll be down in Houston the 1st of January for 3 or 4 days for a conference. So I'm excited to actually see Houston.
Houston is a dope place to be. Houston is the city. Sorry. Houston is the city. It's a dope place. It's cool. And I like Galveston too.
So tell us. So we were talking. You play the violin and you sing. I guess what would you think? Do you do that kind of like Devil Went Down to Georgia and you're playing and singing, or is it separate total concepts?
Um, so George Benson, for example, you know, if George Benson is one of my idols, Prince is one of my idols, you know, Fela Kuti is one of my idols, you know what I'm saying? Sunny Ade is African top 100 guitarist, one of my idols. You know, it's when a lot of people know me as a violinist on social media. And that was what social media was what blew me up. People know that part of me. A lot of people who knew me before then, well, who grew up with me, was always know that I would always sing and write songs and play drums and beats and all of that whole stuff. And so I've always been singing. I sing Afro beats, I sing Afro pop, I sing of Afro fusion of genre, pop flow, you know, pop and Afro beats fused together, pop and high life fused together, you know. So, but my social media blew up as a violinist because that's my print, that's what people know me as. And then I started bringing in the vocals for people to see. So what happens is, if you listen to my original music, you listen to, sometimes the violin solo is at the end of the song. Sometimes there's always an intro of violin solo. After the chorus, there's a violin solo again, and the violin solo ends the song. You know, so some songs are pretty much just violin and then just a few vocals, while some songs are predominantly vocals and a few violins, and some songs are just vocals and some songs are just violin. So I have a whole violin album, just originals, no vocals. We have vocals, just a, you know, to just a little sprinkle of vocals. And I just released the One in a Million album, which is a vocal and violin album where you have just violin songs, just maybe like two or three tracks, and then you have vocal songs where each of the vocal songs have violin in them. So it's me singing and me playing solos. Me, it's similar to Devil Went Down to Georgia, but you know, look at it from an Afrofusion standpoint. You know, R&B fusion, Afro R&B, Afro rock, you know, Afro hip hop, Afro pop, you know.
Well, you just introduced me to all kinds of new music I've never heard of until now.
You need to listen to my album, my One in a Million album. You're gonna really understand. It starts off with Turn of the Lights. Turn of the Lights is an Afro jazz, but it's a pop jazz. It's a fusion of pop, Afro beats, and jazz. The arrangement. It starts with the vocal. You know, Turn of the Lights, me saying Turn of the Lights, singing harmonies, and it goes straight for next 90 seconds. Just violin arrangements with orchestra, you know, strings back up. You know, and then it comes to the chorus, and the chorus is just me singing, you know, and then back again. So it's an introduction of to people like, yo, listen, I'm gonna sing on this album, but yo, listen to this violin. And then after that, the next song that comes in, boom, it's just me singing and playing. It starts with a whole violin solo for like 45 seconds, uh, 30 seconds. Then vocal comes in. So the One in a Million album gives people a full insight to who I am as an artist, as opposed to just who I am as a violinist.
So, can I put you on the spot and get you to like sing a little bit? Something.
I'm so tired. I just got off a flight. My voice is my voice is you can hear it. You can hear it. You can hear my voice already. I actually just need to like rest to get my voice together. And then but I'm gonna be singing. I'm gonna be singing at, you know, upcoming concerts, you know, trying to rest my voice for a little bit. I'd like to sing, but
So, while you're resting your voice right now, what's other places that you've performed? What's big place? Did you perform in London?
yeah, I did. I did London. I did London last year.
So, what's some other big places?
Oh, okay, so I've been on tour for since last year. I started the One in a Million tour last year. I did London, I did Paris, I did Amsterdam, Rotterdam, Groningen, um, and I did like about 20 cities here in America, right? Chicago, Houston, you know, um, what else? New York, you know, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Boston, you know, all these places. This year alone, I've done 35 concerts.
Wow, that's a lot, I would think.
I was also in Canada last year. This year alone, I've done 35 concerts. Just starting my tour, the One in a Million tour 2.0. That's the second leg of the tour, and I've not even touched Canada yet. I've not touched Europe yet. We're gonna extend it to Europe and Africa, you know, next year. We're gonna touch Canada before the end of this year, hopefully. And if not, we're gonna extend. I'm gonna start Canada, Europe, and you know all of that next year. And it's a big like I did the Houston rodeo with Jelly Roll, and it was 75,000 people capacity.
Wow.
That was what we did, and then in the next 2 days, I kickstarted my tour in Napa, California. And then I went to Hawaii to perform Blue Notes, and I just finished the Houston concert, 5,000 capacity, at the 713 Music Hall, and it's like that. I was in Atlanta. I was in Atlanta in April. I did 2 nights of concerts, all sold out concerts, all sold out shows. I'm grateful for have sold out shows and having fans who are really interested in coming to see me and all of that whole good stuff. So it's been a good ride, a good run, and I love it. So yeah. Name the cities I've been to. Milwaukee, Chicago, Wales. I've been to in the middle. I've not been to Detroit this year. I'm gonna be in Detroit soon. I'm gonna be in Seattle, 30th and 31st of August, and those concerts are already sold out. So it's been some fun ride.
Well, tell us. So you name some of the biggest cities in all the United States. So how did you get to be performing at Flat Rock Archive in Stonecrest, Georgia?
Um, I would say I didn't even know how it happened until my manager told me. It was like, "Yo, you're gonna be performing. You're gonna be back here." Because I was backstage in Atlanta after my concert. So I was doing my meet and greet, and during my meet and greet, my manager told me like, "Oh, we have people from who would like to speak to you, and you're gonna be coming back here." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I didn't know anything.
Ah,
I mean, yeah, you know how it is. Artists just focus on artist stuff, performance, while managers and booking agents just handle this stuff. But I think they probably, this is what I think, I may be wrong, but I think they probably found my work out through social media and then came to see me live in concerts. And when they saw my performance live in concert, they were like, "Oh yeah, this seals the deal. He's coming." So when I made it, they were
ah,
like, "Oh, you'll be coming to Flight Rock Archives in Stonecrest, Georgia." I'm like, "Shit, I'm down. Let's go. I'm ready for it." But it was two immense, great, action-packed concerts in Atlanta, and it was lovely. It was dope. Sold out, but not just sold out. The energy was off the roof, and it was magical. I love Atlanta. Atlanta is one of my major cities. Georgia is one of my major states where I have a lot of fans. So me coming to Flat Rock Archives is like, oh yeah, let's go back. I want to keep coming back. But I'm
very
I'm
cool.
grateful for the opportunity to come back to the city. You know, um, come back to the city and then connect with my fans in a different way. You know what I mean? Different from
Yeah.
in a festival, open ground. I like that. No enclosed places, no anything like right there on the floor. I love that. Yeah.
Well, it sounds like it'll be a very amazing concert. We're excited that you're going to be here in DeKalb and in Stonecrest, and yeah, I'm going to have to try. That's for sure. Um,
I love to see that.
yeah, I need to get there. It's so cool when you get to see people on the show and then go see them with what they're actually doing. So it's very neat. So, do you have a band or is it your single performer? I mean, how does that work?
I have a band, drummer, bass, backup singers.
So, how many people?
I mean, it all depends on the size of the. It depends on the size of what I'm going for. I could go from a 20 capacity. I mean, 20 production, 20 dancers to like 5 or 4. So I come with like my 4-piece band most times. For Yeah, that's what I did in Atlanta. I'm gonna do by using my 4-piece band this time around: drummer, bass, keyboard, DJ.
So, what are you going to have in Flat Rock Archives?
Yeah, I'm gonna have my 4-piece band
Okay.
with me in Flat Rock Archives.
So that's going to be so cool. So you haven't been there yet, so you haven't seen the.
I don't even know what it looks like. I like that. This is what I'm gonna be playing at when I appear there. I'm like, oh, okay. I've never been there. I don't know what it looks like.
Oh, that's going to be so cool, and then you're going to get meet Cheryl for the first time. She's the director of the archives, so yeah, she's a wonderful lady.
Awesome. I'd love to meet her. I'd love to meet her.
So that's going to be very cool. Do you have any other upcoming performances, like maybe where you're going after you leave Flat Rock?
Yeah, I'm gonna be going to Seattle. I'm going to Washington State. I have a concert the upper week. Um, so I'm gonna be in Washington State, Seattle. I'm gonna be performing 2 shows back to back, 30th and 31st of August. I'm excited for that too. It's packed already, sold out. So it's like, oh, we're waiting for you. The tickets are sold out. Just where you at? Come, we're waiting for you. That's the whole attitude I'm getting right now on social media. I was on TikTok today. I was on my TikTok and everyone was like, "Oh, we're waiting for you, Seattle. We can't wait. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I can still got like a couple concerts before I come to you, but that's where I'm gonna be.
So, social media wise, is TikTok your best social outlet, or which ones do you use the most?
Actually, do not tell TikTok this. TikTok is the third.
Wow.
Third best. I love Facebook a lot.
Okay, so you're into Facebook versus Instagram.
I love Instagram a lot. I'm Instagram now. First, Instagram is number one, Facebook number two, TikTok number three.
Now, is there a fourth?
And
There's really not even a fourth out there, is there?
there is the thread now. Thread is also,
Oh yeah, forget about that.
and then they have YouTube, and then you have Twitter. But I have.
What about MySpace? I heard that was big with music. Or is that even around anymore? It used to be big with
It's
music.
not. It's not. I'm not even. I don't even know how MySpace ran. I don't know.
I remember back when MySpace was out first, and it's like it made perfect sense to me. And then Facebook came out, and I'm like, boy, this doesn't make any sense at all. But it dominated, so it doesn't matter.
Facebook is good. I think Facebook is. I have like a lot of engagement on Facebook. People. It's easy. Facebook is easy for people to just hit one button and share your video, as opposed to other platforms like Instagram and TikTok. You have to repost. I think TikTok has that repost now where you can just click and repost. It takes two. But I have like 1.6 million followers on TikTok. I have 1.5 million followers on Facebook, and then I
Wow.
have 700,000 followers, 700,000 plus followers on. I mean 740,000 on Instagram. So it's like Instagram is, while it's my number one, it is just half of what those other guys give, like half of Facebook is like close to 1.6 million already, while TikTok is already on 1.6 million. Wow, Instagram is barely at 800K still, but Instagram, it's young, it's hippie. TikTok is also that, but TikTok is more laid back, and then Facebook is like, shit, everybody, let's go. so so I kind of play more on these platforms. I have my YouTube following too. I post there. I have Thread, over 100,000 followers. It's just a combination of reaching more people. And I stay on these platforms as much as I can. Not like every time, but every day I'm always posting on these platforms so that I'm always in the faces of my fans.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, we have to do the same thing from the tourism perspective, so it's same thing.
What's your own major platform?
I think really we're what number one is more Instagram, then Facebook, then TikTok, um, YouTube. We're looking at a new concept called Discord. Um, so we're looking at that right now, but Instagram, then Facebook. We're not really on Twitter or X at all. Um,
Interesting.
so yeah, but we spent a lot of time, a lot of money on promoting on social media. And the thing that's really worked for us is like we take this podcast and then she breaks it up into, you know, stories and reels. Thank you. I couldn't come up with that. Reels and different things like that. And that has really made our Instagram like double in a short period of time last year when we started this. So that's why I was curious what was really working well for you.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. Instagram works well for me. TikTok, you post a video on TikTok, it just scales and just gives you like 300,000 followers quickly. That's how
Yeah.
TikTok works sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. What's the favorite cover you've done?
It changes every day.
Ah,
It changes every day. I don't know, even the one sometimes I like this. I'm like, yeah, this is my favorite today. And then the next time you ask me another interview, I'm going to be saying a different one. So most times I don't have an answer for that.
we'll pick the one for now, and then we'll pop it up on the actual podcast. What would you want to showcase? Your newest album, or
I want to showcase, or what, like my cover. If I want to say, okay, my newest album is what I'm going to want to showcase, my original album. But like the cover that's still that right now in my head is like, yo, this is the one I love the most. Is Living on a Prayer.
leave it on a prayer? Okay. Yeah, right now.
Like,
Yeah.
I posted it in January.
So, what's your newest album? What's your newest? What's your? You've mentioned it earlier. So, what's your favorite thing you're promoting right now?
one in a million album. It's called One in a Million album. So I have a single called One in a Million from the album. That was the first single, but it's titled the album. The album is titled One in a Million. The album. That's what I'm promoting right now, and that's what the tour is about. One in a million. One in a million 2.0.
Okay.
Like,
So did you write the song or you just liked
yeah,
it?
I wrote all of the songs are originals. I wrote it. I'm a music producer. I produced it. Mix and master with my engineers. Yes.
Wow. So you write all your music and then of course perform your own music and
Yeah, I write my music. I write my music. Maybe there's maybe one song where I have a songwriter that was Mbappe. I have a songwriter alongside with me. We wrote it together, but the rest of the songs pretty much wrote it. Produced all of the songs. I had two tracks where I had co-producers on it, but that's it.
interesting. Very cool. Well, is there anything before we start wrapping up? Anything you want to get on our show, or a story, or anything you really want to bring up?
First of all, I like your setup. I'm gonna just get. I like your setup. I like the lights. I like the camera. I like the the way the vegetation just pops up. I don't know what that is, but that's fine. I like the wood. It just gives a very different. I like the feel. I was gonna say that earlier, but
Well, I tell you, Monica, our producer, and Krystal, it's all their stuff. Though we are gonna, I will tell you, we're in by the end of the year, we're gonna have a mobile podcast studio. So we're gonna have a van we can just take out anywhere and do this show. So we're really getting into this podcast and all. So we're excited.
that's awesome. Thank you for having me on your podcast. It means a lot.
Well, thank you for being here. We're so excited, and have a great concert and have a lot of fun and enjoy Flat Rock and Stonecrest.
Yeah, I will. I will. I'll really enjoy it to the optimum. And the other thing I was gonna say is
Yep.
people who probably want to like, oh, we like his voice, what we like him, we want to see him. My social media, we talked about my TikTok, my Instagram, Facebook is the same at Demola Violinist at DEMOLAVIOLINIST as Demola Violinist. That's where you can find me. Everything about my music, my latest covers, my latest music, all the old fun stuff, how I bounce around when I'm played.
No, that's also your website.
My website is demolatheviolinist at gmail. Demolatheviolinist.com. Sorry. Demolatheviolinist.com. That's my website. You find good stuff on my website, but my social media handles at Demola Violinist. Demola Violinist. DEMOLAVIOLINIST. Demola Violinist.
And I'm assuming you can get your stuff on iTunes
Yeah, my
with
music is
Apple.
everywhere. Just Apple. Just type Demola, my name. You'll find my music on Apple Music or my albums, and I have a bunch of cover albums. I have my original albums over there on Apple Music, on Spotify, on Pandora, on Amazon Music, on Napster, on Deezer, on AudioMac, on all platforms. I'm there.
Well, I'm going to have to hijack my son's Pandora and listen to you in the car.
I love that.
Well, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to be the first of our virtual podcast and have a great concert here in DeKalb.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.